he's very clearly very gay, and she's a woman.
But she needs him.
Quack.
Welcome to the Little Duck Book Club with duck number 1,
Ran, and duck number 2,
Anna. And today we're doing a format again that we haven't done in quite a while. It's Keep, Burn, Rewrite. I don't even know which number. I think it's number 5, but I'm not sure.
I think it's number 4.
Or number 4. We've done a couple of these just to reintroduce this format. We each picked 3 books for the other person that they've read, obviously. And then we have to make the very difficult decision, which of these, it's like fuck, marry, kill for books. Which to keep, which to burn. We don't burn books, but metaphorically. And then rewrite. Because we've got some issues, but we think there's like something you can do about it, instead of just chucking it away.
It's like you look at your husband and you go, I can fix him. And that's what that is.
But yeah, basically that's it. Each time we kind of try to have different themes, I think, so far in picking books. My theme for you this time was, I genuinely want to know what you think of these books, because I have not read them. And I want to know your opinion on why or why not.
Sneaky.
Yes, I'm basically just like, I'm making you work for free for me. So it's just.
I just I like looking for books that are like similar, I feel, in your estimation. So it's like, you gotta work a little bit, but also where it's like, okay, I don't love taking like 5 stars, because then it's like, well, what would you even like do with those? Yeah. So it's like, I'm trying to find something where I'm like, okay, I would like to see
what I do with
what
it.
Happens to you. Which one of these bitches gets kicked and which one gets to stay the same.
Okay. So you want to go with the 3 I picked for you?
Yes. For me, you picked a beautiful like spread of different ratings.
I'm just going through
it. The first one is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Then the second one was Murder Games by James Patterson and Howard Ruffin, I think. I don't know how that's pronounced. And the third one is The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry.
Who is on yellow flag, yellow ground for us. She has moved out of the green into the yellow. So
yeah, no, I am so mad. I've said this several times, I think, already on record, and in private even more. I'm like, I was so happy to be like, I have not read a Christina Henry book I haven't liked. They are not all my favorite, but I have not disliked any of them. And then, bam, we come in with Good Girls Don't Die. The funniest thing happened when I was copy and pasting the descriptions from Goodreads into my document. I saw some reviews. And The House That Horror Built had like 1-star review, I think, that was from somebody who was like, usually I like her writing. I loved Good Girls Don't Die.
No way.
But this one was disappointing, and I was like, oh god, you are crazy. But okay, I understand the rating now. It's because you're crazy.
How can you usually love her writing? Especially Good Girls Don't Die.
I think they just read that one book, honestly.
Yeah, maybe. God.
That was incredible, though. Like, up top on the reviews, and I was like, damn, man.
I feel kind of bad that every single time we mention Christina Henry now, we always have to dig in, but I'm so offended by that book.
By the way, we have an episode discussing that book if you're interested in our opinion.
We have several we have several Christina Henry videos. We also have Lost Boy, which is amazing. Show-stopping.
Which is one of my all-time favorite books, which is why I was so unhappy when Good Girls Don't Die happened to me. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a bad dream. It doesn't exist. Good girls don't die, can't hurt you.
Unfortunately, it's on my bookshelf, so I cannot forget it.
Okay. Well, but
your books.
You got me The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakovic. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. And Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat?
Something like that.
CSP.
Names I've only seen written and never heard pronounced because I don't watch interviews.
Leigh Bardugo is the only one I know how to say. I hope I'm saying it correctly, because of the Netflix show and like interviews with her and like people being like, oh.
The thing is, I wrote this to you and I also want to say it here. I would have loved to give you for the third one, not Shadow and Bone, but the Raven Boys, because anyone who was gay and into books on Tumblr knows that these three, like, Raven Boys, Captive Prince, and Foxhole Court were like the trifecta of big gay books that were like, you know, they had like, their fandoms had such a big crossover. It's just like, they're connected.
It's like a super Rulock of Tumblr books.
You haven't read it yet, so...
Yeah, I haven't. It's been on my list for ages. When I got back into reading and I read Six of Crows for the first time, I was like, oh, you know, that's the other kind of book floating around. Yeah. But I just never got to reading it. I don't know why.
I mean, that's fair. It's not for everyone. I mean, I liked it, but, you know.
I don't even know if it would be for me. It just, you know... when it comes by, I like wave, and then like I have too many other things on my TBR.
I just love. I mean, I liked the books fine, but also the covers are just so nice. I love the covers. That's why I picked it up at the library, like the first one. I didn't even know what it was about. I was like, wow, looks sick. I'm just gonna take this home with me. Sometimes
you just gotta like judge by the cover and hope that it's like reflective of.
And hope for the best, yeah.
For the best. Okay. So we're gonna start with the keeps, because they're usually, I think, the easiest.
The shortest.
The shortest, that's good. Do you want to start with your keep?
I can start. Very obvious. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. A 5-star read for me.
What a surprise.
Really, really loved this one. I guess I'll read the summary and then we can talk more about it. So, 5 New Yorkers must come together in order to defend their city. Every city has a soul. Some are as ancient as myths, and others are as new and destructive as children. New York City, she's got 5. But every city also has a dark side. A roiling ancient evil stirs beneath the earth, threatening to destroy the city and her 5 protectors, unless they can come together and stop it once and for all. Which... is only half accurate.
Really? Okay.
Like, the thing is, no, it is about, like, you know, the soul, like, cities have souls, and, like, the book starts with New York soul basically manifesting itself, like, coming alive, becoming aware for the first time. But, that ancient evil is not the dark side of every city. It's a different thing than the cities on Earth. Like, it's an evil that, like, is described as it's sitting at the bottom of the ocean floor and pokes up its head and, like, its feelers when it notices that, like, cities are coming to life.
Oh.
So, it's not quite that. I don't know who wrote this. It's, like,
it's not
it's
that
half right, but it's not accurate. I'm like, I mean, it is also related to a city, but, like, man, that's not... the description is not quite accurate.
Every city has a dark part. It's like a city, and you know
that like sure cities have dark sides, but that's not the dark side of all the different cities. It's like a separate thing. But yeah, no, it's fun. I liked it a lot. Funny story. I ordered this online. If I had not, I would probably not feel as stupid now, but when I ordered it, I was like, oh, I haven't read any N.K. Jemisin yet, but I've heard so much good about her. But the Broken Earth trilogy, like her big, like most popular thing, I think, is always described as either post-apocalyptic or as apocalyptic fantasy, and apocalypses are not my vibe, the aesthetic is just not my thing, so I was like, okay, I'll try a different thing. Oh, look, this looks like a standalone. I opened the book it's not anywhere on the cover. I checked, so I'm like, okay, I really didn't see this when I checked it out online. First page. Book 1 of the Great Cities trilogy. And I was like, wow, great. I really hit it on the standalone part.
Well, you know, it's a book. It's a physical book. You can put it on a table and it stands on its own, you know? It's like...
No, but it was very funny because I was like, never mind then. It was still really good. I enjoyed it. Each of like the parts of New York is like bound to like a person, like a real living person, and like they develop powers, and you have POVs from all of them. So that's really fun. You get a lot of very different people, and it's fun. I had a really good time reading it. N.K. Jemisin is like a very competent writer. It's like the writing very good, the concept really fun. There's like a bit of a Lovecraftian vibe to like the villain. It is very
I like
fun.
that.
It's got a lot of fun things. And I had a great time, even though it was not as standalone as I had hoped. But it's okay. I will survive.
But so you read the other two, or?
No, they weren't out when I read it recently. I think the second one is out now.
But you're waiting for the third before you buy it, right?
Yeah, because I probably want to reread the first one.
Yeah, and it's
so I'm like
worth the effort
all
to like.
present.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you mean. Nice.
Yeah. I love binging series like right after the other. It's very nice.
It's really nice because when I went through the books and through the descriptions and the blurbs, I was like, this sounds the most interesting. I saw the 5 stars, so I was like hoping that, you know, upon reconsideration,
like, maybe this could be good.
You're still like, no, this was good. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's not just my overly generous ratings on Goodreads. I'm like, no, this is legitimately good, and I also think you would like it. I think the vibes are also like,
oh, that's good. That's good.
You'd enjoy it.
Another thing for my list. It's just added. All right. My keep. Okay, so actually, my keep was sort of a omission process of like, you know, the other two. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do here? So my keep is The Foxhole Court by Mark Sakovich.
Gay people stay winning.
I'm gonna read the blurb. Neil Justin is the newest addition to the Palmetto State University Exy team. He's short, he's fast, he's got a ton of potential, and he's the runaway son of the murderous crime lord known as the Butcher. Signing a contract with the stop laughing. With the PSU Foxes is the last thing a guy like Neil should do. The team is high profile and he doesn't need sports crews broadcasting pictures of his face around the nation. His lies will hold up only so long under this kind of scrutiny, and the truth will get him killed. But Neil's not the only one with secrets on the team. One of Neil's new teammates is a friend from his old life, and Neil can't walk away from him a second time. Neil has survived the last 8 years by running. Maybe he's finally found someone and something worth fighting for. We read this recently. We did an episode on this book. And I just felt like Foxhole Court was completely fine. What's going on?
I am losing it because from the blurb, it really sounds like Neil Cavan is like the main ship, right? I'm not like...
Right?
That's so funny. Andrew isn't even mentioned.
The thing is, the funniest thing is to the people... I think the episode, I still have to edit it. It's not out yet. But the thing is,
it's not out yet.
I went into this completely blind. I didn't even read the blurb. And I also thought Kevin was going to be the one. But anyways, I chose the Foxhole Court for the keep because later on, comparing it to the other two books, I felt like I don't know enough of the other books to be able to rewrite.
Yeah, I see.
And I also felt, for the same reason, unjust to burn it. And I did enjoy myself. I had a nice time. It did make me want to read the other books. Just don't know when I will get to it. But I'm like, you know what? I will read the rest of the All for the Game series.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. It was unhinged. It was dramatic. It was everything you'd want from like a sports anime. You know? It's
right? Like the vibes are there.
Everything is there. I just had a hella good time, and it's a keep, and it's for free, actually. The first book is for free, so if you ever were wondering, oh, you know, lots of people are talking about it, get it, you can get it for free, read the first book, and then, make your own.
Nothing's stopping you.
No,
just do it.
Literally nothing is stopping you.
Right now.
You can get it for free. So yeah, that's my keep. That's my very demure keep. I know where I stand with this book, and I'm like, yes, you get to stay.
You're like, you can stay. Neil, you can stay.
Neil is so loved. You'll hear it in the other episode, but Neil, like, for the whole book, my only reason for keeping going on was like, Neil, I love you. So you just gotta progress. I gotta see where this goes for you.
He's just so special. He's got everything.
He is. A cutie. A certified cutie, that guy. Okay. So let's get to the exciting part. What's your burn?
Murder Games by James Patterson.
The way you say it, it's like, Murder Games.
I mean, this is only like 2 stars on Goodreads because I'm nice on Goodreads. Because I'm like, well, it's like, there is a difference between... There are no 0 stars, right? I can't be like, oh, this is so shit, I don't want to give it any star. Yeah. So those have to go in the 1 star. And in defense of this book, like, the writing is, like, competent enough. Like, none of the sentences are crazy weird. There's no, like...
Dagger-filled
big problems.
pants.
It's written by a competent writer, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should. I mean, I can read the summary, but also, like, it does not matter. Sorry. Dr. Dylan Reinhardt wrote the book on criminal behavior. Literally, he's a renowned, best-selling Ivy League expert on the subject. When a copy of his book turns up at a gruesome murder scene, along with a threatening message from the killer, it looks like someone has been taking notes. Elizabeth Needham is the headstrong and brilliant NYPD detective in charge of the case, who recruits Dylan to help investigate another souvenir left at the scene, a playing card. Another murder, another card. And now Dylan suspects that the cards aren't a signature, they're a deadly hint, pointing directly toward the next victim. As tabloid headlines about the killer known as the dealer scream from newsstands, New York City descends into a panic. With the cops at a loss, it's up to Dylan to hunt down a serial killer, unlike any the city has ever seen. Only someone with Dylan's expertise can hope to go inside the mind of a criminal and convince the dealer to lay down his cards. Oh god, that's so stupid, sorry. But after thinking like the criminal, could Dylan become one? A heart-pounding novel of suspense, more shocking than any tabloid true crime story. Murder Games introduces the next unforgettable character from the imagination of James Patterson, the world's #1 best-selling author. Lies upon lies. This is not heart-pounding. It barely has any suspense, and it sucks. The characters are forgettable.
May I interject? The fact that like you're a fucking serial killer, right? You're the bitch, right? In the city. In New York, and you're called the dealer.
The dealer. Like, it's a poker reference and not like a drug dealer reference, but this is New York. Do you know how many dealers are in New York City?
It's like, you mean Josh over there on the corner?
Everyone who's selling drugs in New York. Yeah, I'm also the dealer to some people.
It's like the scene from like coming of age movie where it's like, no, I'm the dealer. No, I'm the dealer.
No, I'm the dealer.
Okay, sorry. Please elaborate.
So first off, like, I mean, I'm sure most people are aware, but when I picked it up, I wasn't myself. I found it at the library because it's James Patterson. Of course, it's at the library. But James Patterson at this point doesn't write his books. He only writes like an outline, and then whoever is the co-author named on those books is actually doing the actual writing at this point. I need
to interject. Who is Mr. Patterson? I
mean, he's he writes suspense and crime stuff. He used to... I know he's written, like, huge best-selling series that are very
I'm not a crime person, so I was like,
Me neither. I think the name's criminal. But, No, I think like some really well-known thrillers. I personally I forgot because it's not really my genre. I love murder mysteries. But like thrillers so far have always fallen short for me personally. So, but he's like everywhere. His books are everywhere, and like it was at the library, so it was for free. I was like, well, I might as well see what all the hype is about with him, and this was definitely not hypeable. This was very much should not be hyped. Bad. Like, it's difficult to describe how boring this was for a book marketed as a thriller. Very much not interesting, but there are like crazy things in here which are not like plot twists, but just like writing choices that for anyone who knows anything about the US and US politics are in part like crazy shit. Like there is I don't remember because it's forgettable. Either there's a mayoral race going on in New York or he's the current mayor, but we have a guy who's the whole thing ends up being like, oh, the killer was trying to distract because at the end he wants to assassinate like the mayor or mayoral candidate, whatever it is. He's a Republican, and the book's like, hey, you know what this Republican mayor of New York wants to do? Invest in infrastructure and help the poor and marginalized. And I'm like, I don't think... Not even the Democratic mayors of New York do that, because New York has, like, consistently shit mayors, because no one there votes on mayoral, like, candidates. Like,
Really?
The turnout is, like, insanely low. But, like, right. Who do we know, like, as well-known mayors of New York? Wow, Rudy Giuliani, well-known for being, like, real good about minorities. Yeah, sure. Like, just reading that, I was like, okay, this is fucking crazy. We are in crazy town. This book is not set in the real world. That's insane. Okay.
Parallel universe.
But even funnier. This book... Our main character, Dylan. Great name. Love Dylan.
What is your beef with Dylan?
I'm sorry, but like the name Dylan Reinhardt is just so stupid to me. Like Dylan must catch the dealer. Like, come on.
That's true. That sounds
stupid.
weird.
But he is a criminal psych professor. And we get introduced to him, he's giving his lecture, or he's about to start, and then I'm sorry, but like, Elizabeth Needham is coming in as the NYPD.
Wait, N-E-E-D, ham?
Yes, Needham. She needs that ham, man!
That's why he's called Dylan. It's like a D. Oh, I feel so mean. Continue, please.
But she comes in and he's having like she's like, hey, would you come, like, I need to speak to you. And he's just like, well, you don't look like one of my students and I have a responsibility to educate. So I'll do my lecture he's doing like a whole power play thing with her. It's so stupid. So he makes her sit there for the entire lecture.
Oh,
or no, wait, does he make her go outside because she's not a student? She's not paying tuition? I think he made her go outside because she's not, like, you know, a paying student. Insane behavior. Immediately I was like, wow, I hope this guy dies. But he's the main character, so... He wouldn't, but I could hope, you know. So that happens, and then, you know, they talk, and she, you know, says, yeah, we need your help, blah, 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 blah. And I think he agrees to help, probably. Again, I forgot so much because it's just not interesting. Another crazy thing I forgot to mention, but this book had, like, a truly insane amount of chapters. Every chapter was maybe 2 pages. There were some that were 1 page.
Oh, wow.
Some were maybe 3 or 4 pages, but that was the upper limit. These chapters were crazy short. But anyway, then he goes home and he's like, oh, my partner, like, has a name that's, like, a feminine name, typically. Kind of unisex, but mostly for women. So you're like, okay, they're adopting a kid, whatever. And then it's like, wow, it turns out his partner is a man. It turns out our professor is gay. But the way that it's written is like, the book is like, wow, aren't you surprised? And I'm like, no. Some people are gay. I'm not surprised. Why
In New York!
Anyway,
if this wasn't like rural Texas, it's like, okay, but
maybe more surprising that the Ivy League professors like openly get whatever. But like, they're about to adopt a kid, and then it's like, wow, the person who's coming over to do like a check where it's like, okay, what's the living situations, like, are you suitable parents, whatever, is homophobic. Or perhaps she's racist because his partner is black. So we're doing everything, but the way it's written is just like, you're just writing this so Dylan can have sassy comebacks. What is this? This is
the
so
thing is,
stupid.
like, this is totally a story that's happening and that could be written in like a convincing way and make you, the reader, like feel for Dylan and his partner.
Yeah, but mostly I was just thinking, wow, Dylan's really a sassy cunt. Good for him. But like, I'm still not over the part where he was like, hey, you look too poor to be in this room and listen to my lecture. Leave. So I still don't respect him. Anyway, I remember barely anything from the like actual crime bit, and like there were dead people, there were cards. I know there was like a red herring, there was like I think it was like, oh, it turns out all these people have done like either have been to jail or like I think all these people have been in court but were not convicted, and the dealer is like, dispensing justice.
Does he deal in death?
But like, I'm just like, okay, we'll just sure. I'm sure vigilante justice is totally good and not biased at all on any level or whatever. But like, there was like a fake out where it was like, oh, is it the judge? And then I was like, no, it was the judge's assistant all along. Because even though the judge owned the criminal psychologist's book, in conversation it was clear he had never read it, so obviously he couldn't have used it as like a taunt. No, for real, this incredibly stupid, incredible. But then the best part comes towards the end. At some point, out of nowhere, our gay Ivy League criminal psychology professor reveals his father was like a secret agent or a Marine or something, and when he was a child he went through rigorous training, so he's an extremely good fighter, he's a crazy good shot, he knows how to hunt, he knows how to track, he knows how to survive in the wilderness. It's so fucking crazy. Yeah, you know who I think is good at surviving in the wilderness? Gay Ivy League professors in New York.
Does he at least have like a background of like being from a rural area where you would like regularly
I think his dad has a cabin somewhere more rural, but it's like, it's so funny because this is not built up much at all. It's just at some point he's like, oh, flashback time. We're finding out how my father trained me in the woods, and it's like, cool. Why are we doing this again?
Is it like is it like age appropriate training, or is this one of these instances where the author is like, I don't know, kids, so the 6-year-old is standing there with like a full ass bow?
No, it was like hunting with a gun. We're American. It's in America. Obviously, it's guns. They're not doing Katniss roleplay, okay? No, but I think it was like flashback to his teenage years or something. Okay, but still, the reveal was insane. I was like, why are we doing this to our Ivy League gay professor? Does he not have enough skills already?
Let him eat his bagel with...
Yeah, no, that was my favorite part, because it was just so utterly insane that it's actually loops back around to being fucking amazing. It's like, wow. That's so crazy, man. Tell me more.
Dare I say, were you riding the wave? Were you riding the trash wave? Were you having fun?
Only for that one chapter or so, for 2 pages, and then we got back to the Republican mayor who was like real interested in like helping the poor. Sorry, that was too immersion breaking for me. No, then I was violently jerked off any kind of enjoyment I had because...
Cut the sentence. Sorry. Continue, please.
I never enjoy a violent jerking off.
Okay.
Sorry. No, I was, pulled off of my wave of enjoyment because at the end we have this. So he's very clearly very gay, and she's a woman. However,
but she needs him. I'm so sorry. Okay, this is killing me. Okay. It's just.
However,
yes.
I feel like either, I don't know if that is on James Patterson or like the writer who then like put the actual scenes together, but one of these people was so conservative that they couldn't imagine writing a man and a woman interact without weird sexual tension and the like build-up of, oh, is he gonna cheat on his partner with this like cool woman who he works with and they've been like going through stuff together. But then they're also so conservative that they're like, no, he's gay, so he can't sleep with women because bisexual people aren't real. So
gotta keep the binary,
they don't sleep with each other, but the vibes are there, and it's so close to doing that, and I was just like, what are we fucking doing, man?
I guess it's like the typical like kind of romance you can have in these thriller crime books, but it's like, oh no, wait, but he's gay, but the dynamic still stays the same.
Yeah, no, it's like they were like, oh yeah, a man and a woman, obviously there needs to be sexual tension, and then like, oh wait, he's gay. They can't have sex now.
I just leave that in.
Abort mission. We can't do it anymore. So it's like, it feels like, oh, he only doesn't cheat on his partner not because he loves his partner, but because he's not attracted enough physically to this woman.
He's like, I totally would. If you were a man, I totally would, but I can't.
The thing is, I don't know if I'm making this up, but I feel like some words very adjacent to what you just said are actually in the book. Like something really along the line where either he thinks about it or he says it and he's like, oh yeah, if you were a man, I think I could see this working or whatever. Something like that. Again, that is the crazy part where it's like, oh, it's just because she's a woman and he's too gay and bisexual people are not real.
With your loving partner that you want to
who you were about to
adopt, like
that you're planning to adopt a kid with. Yes, it's crazy. It's actually
men.
Like again, like most of the actual plot is like boring and easy to neglect, but some of the stuff that's happening in the background that's not the main plot just makes you go, what? Huh? What?
And that's the only stuff you remember,
lose your
which
mind
is great.
And get through the boring parts because you're just like, wait, did I hear this right? He's like a fucking ninja boy because his father trained him? What? He's a gay criminal psych Ivy League professor in New York. It's just crazy, man. Anyway, the world loses nothing if we just remove this book from existence. It's a net positive, honestly.
The thing is, like, good for you. The thing is, like with these crime, I tend to kind of ignore the Mary Sue quote unquote characters in Romantasy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, whatever. But whenever I get reminded of like the male equivalent to that, like the crime stand-in for the writers who are like
the smartest, coolest guy.
Yeah, like get a boner while writing their own character. I'm like, are the Mary Sues in Romantasy that bad? Because it's like,
yeah,
looking at the other equivalent, it gives me the shudders. I feel like you can really tell when you take like a crime book and you turn around whether just from the blurb, whether the guy is gonna be a stand-in for whatever power fantasy the author has or not,
Yeah.
you know? And to spice it up a little bit, this time he made the character gay.
Yeah, no, but the thing is also that, like, the way that is written, it really is just like the book is going, haha, I tricked you, actually, he's gay, you didn't see that coming, huh? And it's like,
And that's the most surprising
you
twist.
made such an effort to make it look like he's straight. Obviously, my brain mostly went like, oh, probably a straight guy, like most men alive. Crazy.
Surprise.
And then it's like, surprise, he's gay, and I'm like, you know, I am pro-gay, but the way you're writing this makes me feel like it'd be better if this guy wasn't gay, because I don't trust you with writing gay people. What are you doing?
It's like, you're like, am I homophobic right now? Because I don't want this gay man in the book. It's like...
It wasn't even like, I don't want them to be gay. I was just like, you know, I'm upset about the reveal that he's gay, mostly because it's a reveal. Why are we treating this like it's a surprise? Yeah, people are gay, Steven. Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Robert, stop it. Like, do better. Or just stop. I think you're making enough money as it is. Just stop, man.
That's crazy. I looked them up on the side when you were talking about he a shit ton of books. It's insane.
So many, yeah. Does he have like some that would ring a bell with literally everyone? Like I think he's written something that's like crazy.
No, I just really had to laugh at the title Bavarian Sunset, a revenge thriller.
I'm just imagining they're wearing, you know, trachten while the revenge is happening. So it's just like, it's just all Oktoberfest all the time.
No, the secret sign says yodel. It's like, if you hear me yodeling, we got him. No, none of the... I mean, again, I'm not a crime reader. I don't know. But none of the books ring a bell. His most popular one, but I feel like also crime readers don't read, like the majority of crime readers is not people who use Goodreads. Dare I say. So, like, the most, like, up to, like, the most popular has 192 ratings. So it's like...
Yeah.
But yeah, also the covers also don't ring a bell. Because sometimes you see a cover that you've seen, like, every single time when you go into, you know, the bookstore or the library, but
no, for sure. But, like, he's everywhere. Oh, okay. Oh, I have definitely heard Alex Cross, which is the name of his, like, the detective in his best-selling series, in his first big one. So, yeah. I haven't read these either, but the name sounds vaguely familiar to me.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to read anything else by James Patterson. This was not good, and I would rather read like 50 Agatha Christie books before I touch anything like this again.
Okay, so
but I love
Christie
Agatha Christie, so
yeah, I was about to say that's like fun time. I'd also rather read. Okay.
Poirot is the only gay detective I respect. Who is Dylan Reinhardt? I don't care for him.
Also, Reinhardt... I'm not going to elaborate on that. My burn is Captive Prince. A CS packet. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
The
you
blurb.
were like, I cannot fix her. We'll have to kill it. Sorry.
The blurb is, Damon is a warrior hero to his people, and the rightful heir to the throne of Achielos. But when his half-brother seizes power, Damon is captured, stripped of his identity, and sent to serve the prince of an enemy nation as a pleasure slave. Beautiful, manipulative, and deadly, his new master, Prince Laurent, epitomizes, I don't know if that's the right word, the worst of the court at Verre? The French. But in the lethal political web of the Varisian court, nothing is as it seems, and when Damon finds himself caught up in the play for the throne, he must work together with Laurent to survive and save his country. For Damon, there's just one rule. Never, ever reveal his true identity. Because the one man Damon needs is the one man who has more reason to hate him than anyone else. Includes an exclusive extra story. Why is this a burn? It's a burn. I did not feel comfortable burning Foxhole Court because, again, I don't know the rest of the series. So I was like, I don't know. Captive Prince, as a book, nearly made me not read the rest of the series. Which I take personal because I love the rest of the series. I annihilated those books. I gobbled them up. I was like, oh my god, this is getting so good. But the first book nearly made me not want to read the rest.
No, I totally get it, because when you were like, yeah, this is where the first book ends, and I was like, wait, what? All the good things I remember are from the other book?
So maybe to elaborate, basically what the blurb says is point by point, like the first half, I'd say, of the book, right? You find out how Damon gets captured, or he already is captured by the time. It's like a 2-sentence thing, like, oh, they overtook me and blah blah. He gets sent to the other country. He realizes he's not just in a pickle, he's in a big pickle. He's like, he is not in a good position right now. And he realizes...
pickle, they put him in the jar too, and they close the lid, and they're shaking
and they're shaking it, and they're like putting the jar in sunlight. You know, it's not fun. And then there's like a couple of power play situations to show you like, oh, he's not just in like physical, but also like mental danger. Because the stuff that they do fucks with you on a psychological level. It's like, oh shit, it's not like a happy book in that way. And you find about all the other stuff and like the court intrigue, and like, oh, okay, we're starting to get going. But you have the book in your hand and you're like, I'm already nearly at the end of this.
Yeah.
So at the point where you feel like, okay, Laurent is like starting to do something instead of just being a jerk, right? Because that's the first half, he's just a petulant dude. You're nearly like 3/4 through. Then there's like the first big thing that happens, in my opinion, like the big plot kind of thing, a ball, and you're like, oh, intrigue, oh, political stuff. And I mean, it's not a political whatever book, like it's not, you don't read it for that, right? And you're like, okay, the plot is thickening, and then the book is over. The last thing that they go is like, okay, Damon is like, oh great, we're getting sent out of the castle walls. He already tried to escape previously, that didn't work, he got caught and brought back to the castle. But he's like, I get out of this castle, you know, on purpose. I'm being taken to a different castle in the country, closer to the border of my country, so the chances of fleeing are higher, or like escaping are better. And you think, okay, we're gonna get going, and that's the end of the first book. So before all of these scenes feel like, the book also isn't super long. I think it's 200 and something pages. So it's like not much can happen anyways, but it feels like something gets dangled in front of you. It's like, oh, come here. And then it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And this like there's scenes in between that, as I said, spike up your heart rate because you're like, oh shit, Damon is in danger. And I was like, Damon, my baby, I feel so sorry for you. And he was also the reason why I was like, no, I gotta read the other books. I gotta find out what happens to my baby. Because he's the only one that I'm like, I got you, babe. You know, I'm here for you. I would also fall for a manipulative blonde man. So, like, let's go. Let's do it. And then the other books are great. They're amazing. And yeah, you could rewrite some of this. But my biggest rewrite would just to change where the first book ends and the second book starts. So that's literally like the rewrite I would do. So comparing this to the Foxhole Court, which I think it's similar situations, right? It's the first book in like a self-published story, which is fairly short. The Foxhole Court does a better job of making me want to read the other books than Captive Prince.
Yeah.
Because again, Captive Prince turned me off so much that you were like, you should still read the other ones. Trust me, bro, it gets better. And I was like, okay, I do trust you. And good thing I did. But I could when I went through the Goodreads review, so many people were like, why do people like this series so much? It sucks. And I'm like, yeah. If
the first book's not a good representative.
No, the second book, chef's kiss. I think I like the second book the most. Is the most fun. The most things happen that make you go, oh, Laurent is like a person who does
with feelings. Oh
and
no,
who has range. Because you're not in his head, you're in Damon's head. But yeah, that's it. If you want to read the series, just buy like the first and the second book at the same time, so that you can immediately start with the second book after you're done with the first one. Because I feel like the transition is just...
Oh, yeah.
It's... Yeah. So that's short and sweet. Unlike the book. That's my...
If someone has to go, yeah.
If someone has to go, it's Captive Prince.
Short and somewhat stale, yeah.
Short and underwhelming. Weirdly enough, considering the things that happen in the book. Which are anything but underwhelming. Totally but yeah. So we know what your rewrite is.
We're on the rewriting section, right?
Yes.
The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry. Harry Adams loves horror movies, so it's not coincidence that she accepted a job cleaning house for horror movie director Javier Castillo. His forbidding Greystone Chicago mansion, Bright Horses, is filled from top to bottom with terrifying props and costumes, as well as glittering awards from his career making movies that thrilled audiences until family tragedy and scandal forced him to vanish from the industry. Javier values discretion, and Harry always tries to keep the house immaculate, her head down, and her job safe. Then she hears noises from behind a locked door, noises that sound remarkably like a human voice calling for help. Harry knows not asking questions is a vital part to keeping her job, but she soon discovers that the house may be home to secrets she can't ignore. So, this one. I think I might have enjoyed it less if I hadn't read it quite soon after Good Girls Don't Die, and I was like, oh, good, a normal horror book again. Okay, this is like, this is cohesive, and like, the conclusion makes sense to the story we were doing. That's great. I like when things make sense and are coherent. It's... how should I start? So the description is mostly accurate. Mostly Harry works there because she couldn't really on short notice find other jobs near where she lives, or like as quickly or as well paying. So she was really desperate to get the job, not because it's her favorite director, but because she needs the money, because she wants to stay living there, because the school in that district is really good, and she has a son who she, wants to keep in a good school because, people care about their kids, I suppose. So, yeah, she is, like, there is a real desperation to her wanting to keep the job, even when the house is kind of weird. And, like, the house is weird. Like, you start off and, like, the vibes in a horror book sense are good for the protagonist. The vibes are off. Like, the house is creepy as fuck. Like, it is weird. Like, Javier lives completely alone. It's a giant house. He's a germaphobe. He makes her, because he likes his privacy, he makes her put away her phone with her bag. She's allowed to go outside, like, to check her messages at lunch break, but she's not allowed to use it while she's working and all that. There's all these props. The house is, like, mostly empty. There's a number of rooms she's not allowed to go in, like his office and, like, that one locked room. And he helps clean in part because it's just so much to do, but also mostly so he can supervise what she's doing. But sometimes in between he leaves because he has to make calls or whatever. But he walks very silently, so she can never tell when he comes back or if he's watching. And also there are cameras, so she,
uncomfortable, yeah.
Always watching. And it's also like, he's a horror movie director, so all the props he has are like horror stuff. There's like puppet, old costumes, like all that stuff everywhere. I would hate this house. I would not. I hate puppets. I think they're really creepy. I don't want them around me. I also don't like taxidermies. I'm like, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just because, like, looking at it makes me think these things would smell so much of, like, old dust, and I hate that smell so much. But, like, it's just, the vibes are off. You read this and you're like, oh my god, this fucking house, man. I get, like, why you would choose this as a horror, like, setting. Like, that's a good setting, and, like, fairly early on, you have her cleaning this one specific costume, because there's like a full body costume with mask and everything, where she's like, I feel like that thing moved. I think it looked at me, but when I checked back, it hadn't really moved, so I can't tell. And when she's cleaning the room beside the locked one, there's like a knocking on the wall, and she's like, it's probably just the old pipes. It's probably, I mean, if you were keeping someone locked up in there, it'd probably be more than just weird knocking. He wouldn't do that. That's, like, insane behavior. No one does that. That's fucking crazy. So, that's, like, the first third of the book, where she's, like, you meet her going to work, you meet the house, then she comes home and you meet her son and all. And then you get the first real escalations, which is that her landlord died and left, the house and everything to his son, who doesn't want to be a landlord, so he's selling it to a construction company who's going to rework the apartments, and all the tenants are getting kicked out in the next 3 months. And they have to find a new place to live. And it's like, it's an old house, and the landlord was, he couldn't raise rents while people were still living there.
Yeah.
So the rents were very cheap for the area that they were in, and she can't afford rents anywhere close by. She's alone, she has a son, there's no one else in the picture. You get some flashbacks from both her and Javier about, like, their past. So it's basically when they were young and first introduced to horror movies and how they affected them personally, and that they were enthralled. And you learn that she's from, like, a super conservative Christian household, and when they found out she liked horror stuff, they, like, took it all and burned it right in front of her, so she ran away from home. And she basically, like, she has nothing to go back to. She had nothing when she ran away. She was homeless in New York for a while, squatted with people, and then she got pregnant, and then she had to get a job because her boyfriend didn't want a kid and left, so she was left with a kid that she had to somehow raise. And that's what's going on in her life. So by the way, I'm gonna have to spoil most of the book.
That's fine.
To explain what I'm rewriting. For people listening, like, if you want to read it, like, this is all setup stuff. Like, I think it's, like, perfectly fine. It's not my favorite. It's not, like, great, but it's, like, it works as a horror book. Like, you're like, wow, this shit is creepy, and wow, that's what I want from a horror book. I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have this looming deadline of, she needs to find a new apartment. Oh no. And when she's stressed, that's like, she has like a mini breakdown at work because she's just thinking about it. And it's like, oh my god, we're probably gonna have to move like into a really, really bad part of town with like extremely shit schools. My kid's gonna be so fucked. It's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
And like, that's when she and Javier first like actually start talking in any like meaningful way. Before it was a very like,
business
you're working for me, I'm your employer, we're talking about like the dusting we're doing, but that's like the extent. No personal. So that's why they have a personal conversation, and she lets slip that, she's worried about her son, and he's like, oh, your son, because he used to have a son, but there was a lot of drama around that, so he's got some emotions about that. But then it turns out he's like, oh, why, she tells him, like, oh, I think he asks stuff about him, and she's like, oh, he's a huge fan of your movies, and he's like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, me too, but I didn't want to say it when you hired me because I thought that would probably, like, make you not hire me because, you like privacy, and the fan is more likely not to hold to that. And he's like, and which one was your favorite? And then she, like, mentioned his first movie that was, like, not super well received. Like, it didn't make a lot of money, but, like, it was his first, it was his baby, basically. And he's, like, super excited about that. He invites them for dinner. And, like, that's where the weirdo energy goes up, because he hits it off so well with her son. And she's just like,
how old is the
I
son?
don't want the son is, like, I think 14.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't want to have this much of an emotionally volatile relationship with my employer. This is, like, a bad idea with this creepy ass house. But her son's so happy. This guy's, like, excited about it. Some time passes. He invites them again, and this time he also invited actors from that movie that she liked so much. And, like, her son's again, like, super excited, and she's just like, okay, this is fucking... I don't love this. This guy's way too, not in a, like, oh, he's gonna, like, abuse my son, but in a, like, oh, he's definitely, like, oh, cool, a son. He's just like, oh, I had a son once, but we didn't have, like, a very good relationship. So, like, having a son who, like, someone in that age who likes me and who and she's just like, oh my God, this is a terrible idea. But I also can't be weird about it because it's my employer and I do need money, and also we're getting evicted soon.
And so also her son is happy about it, so it's like...
Yeah, that too. And she's just, oh my God, this is not good. I am having a bad time. Because it's also, like, again, her employer is like, he's, they were mostly cordial, so this didn't come up much. But when they're having dinner and it was obvious she was, like, not listening to something, he immediately looks pissed. And it's like... oh, this man is not good with rejection or any kind of negative.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's like, oh my God, I definitely need a new job. Holy shit, we can't keep doing this. And then the two guests, one is an actor who played the monster in his first film, and, like, the actress who played, I think, like, the, main character who gets chased by the monster or whatever. And the guy is really nice. He's, like, hero worshipping Javier because it's like he made his career with his first movie, and they've been, like, close ever since. And the woman is a huge bitch. She's like, she's like, the first time she and Harry are, like, a little out of earshot of other people, she's immediately like, wow, it would be a real step up for you, as a house cleaner, a guy who owns a house like this, like a award-winning director. And she's just like, I'm not trying to fuck this man. I work for him. He invited us to dinner. I'm not trying to become, I'm not a gold digger. How dare you?
Yeah.
And that woman's just like, okay, but why else would he invite you to dinner? And the other actor's like, oh my God, what the fuck? Why would you say that? You're such an asshole.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, ma'am, what the fuck are you saying? And then she's also kind of, like, drunk because, alcohol at, like, a dinner.
Yeah.
And, like, well, no one is really looking too closely, but close enough. The creepy suit, like, almost pushes her down the stairs. And, like...
the suit moves and almost... okay.
Yeah. In the lead up to that... no, it definitely moves. In the lead up to that, we had, like... the first time Harry's son was with them at the house, they were looking at the thing, and Gabe, the son, had already wandered off, and she was like, okay, yeah, definitely the eyes of the statue hadn't moved because the whole face had moved. Great! I'm having a good time.
Okay, oh God.
And then, like, later on when she's cleaning alone, she's there, and, like, the whole thing moves towards her, and she's like, get the fuck back or I will set you on fire. Like, the thing has already been moving way more over time. Like, it's gotten progressively creepier. She's
God.
Like, holy shit, man. And I think at that point also, while she was cleaning, And while she was like, the day where she was having her breakdown, where Javier first really talked to her, she was cleaning the upstairs room beside the locked room, and it was not just knocking, she heard someone say, "Help me." And she was like, well, I'm probably imagining things, because if I'm not, that'd be really bad. But I need this job.
She's like, red flags? Nah.
She's like, listen, I'm probably just crazy, which is fine. There's probably not somebody locked in that room. Okay? That'd be even crazier. So I'm just delusional right now. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm doing my work. I'm leaving. I'm trying to get a different job. I'm just not thinking about it.
Jesus Christ.
Master of compartmentalization. Slay. So that all happens, and the woman is like, oh no, totally, like, Harry pushed me because I was like, just because she's mad because I said the truth, and everyone else is like, she obviously didn't push you, she just stopped you from rolling down those stairs, whatever. So that's the point where Gabe and Harry leave, and the others stay, like, overnight, because, you know, they don't live in Chicago, they're just visiting. Yeah. And then next morning, headline, woman dead, like that woman, and she fell out of the window. Suspected suicide. So that's great. Now when Harry goes to work, not only is it a creepy house, it's a creepy house surrounded by reporters. Great. It gets better. There's one, like, super persistent reporter who keeps following her, trying to follow her, and she's, like, hopping from one bus to a different one to, like, make sure this guy doesn't find out where she lives, because that'd be extra bad. And then, you know, Javier is super distraught, very upset, and she overhears, like, a conversation that the other actor has with him, where he's like, you know, you need to do something, like, we need to do something about the paparazzi, because, like, listen, I know you like your cleaner, but can you imagine how shit this is for her? She's gonna leave and never come back if this keeps up. And he's like, but I need them. And it's like, this man is way too attached to my son. I am getting a new job post-haste. And that's the next morning. Turns out the reporters did find her address. And her landlord is like, dude, you already had, like, most of your time. Most of the other tenants are already moving out. I need you out by the weekend. You're not staying with this disturbance. You need to be gone. And so she has another breakdown at work that day. And then Javier's like, you know what? You should just move in, you know? You and your son, you should just, you know, you could stay for a while. I mean, what's the alternative? Go to a shelter? You want your young son to stay at a shelter? That would be terrible for him. Isn't this better? She's just like, well, I mean, technically, maybe in some ways, I guess I'll have to say yes, because it is unquestionably a better choice, even though this is a creepy-ass house and my employer is way too emotionally attached to my son, who he's met for, like, a total of, like, maybe 6 hours, if at all. But that is, like, most of the way through the book. Them moving into the house is, like, very late in the book. The whole build-up of, oh, we're gonna get evicted, oh, maybe I'll find a different apartment, oh no, all of those in the area are way too expensive, all of that. But that moment is, like, very late in the book. And then very soon after, I think, like, maybe the second day or third day, like, it becomes, her son starts acting really weird, out of character sometimes. Like, first off, he's also gotten way more attached to Javier. They are, like, super close. There was a lot of moments where it's like, oh no, you know, he's hanging out with that guy instead of her. And, you know, it's just... Yeah. She's like, fucking hell, when we move out, this is gonna get real bad. Yeah,
and real difficult as well.
Yeah, but then her son also starts having, like, insane out-of-character moments where he's, like, extremely rude to her, or then he starts also being extremely rude to Javier at, like, certain moments, and, like, everyone at the table is like, dude, what the fuck? But the actor Daniel and Javier are both looking at him, like, even worse, and Javier leaves the room right after. It's like, yeah, you know, he acted a lot like Javier's son right there. And the thing with the son is that since we get some of Javier's, like, backstory. We also get like Harry and Gabe Googling it, but we also get it from his perspective. He really loved his wife. His wife wanted a kid. Like, no, his wife got pregnant on accident, basically. They didn't plan for it. And he never wanted a child. He was very clear, I don't want a child. I really do not want a child. I love you, but I do not want a child. And she was like, oh no, but I want a child so desperately. You don't have to raise the kid, but, you know, you can do as little or as much parenting as you want, but I really want to keep this kid. And he was like, well, okay. Goes off to make a movie in South America, whatever, comes back, she's almost through with the pregnancy, the birth is near, but he's like, now we just recorded the movie, I still need to cut it, and like, you know, I'm the editor because it's my baby, and so he misses the birth, misses the first few, you know, weeks or whatever, because he's still working on the movie and the premiere and stuff, and at first when he meets the baby, he's like, okay, yeah, I love this kid, but with time, he doesn't like the kid. He doesn't spend a lot of time with Michael. Obviously, his wife loves the kid and spoils the kid, and the kid's growing up in Hollywood, like, with all these, like, other famous kids. He's, like, getting in all sorts of trouble. He's not doing a lot of parenting. His wife, at least from the way I would read it, does bad parenting, which is just letting him do whatever he wants. Which, so he gets, like, into drugs very early, like, you know, at, like, 12, 13, like, very early. Yeah. He's, like, at clubs at 14 and stuff. And it's really bad. At some point, he's, like, on set with Javier because they needed somebody to fill in, and he behaves extremely badly. He destroys, like, an important prop, and Javier hits him for it in front of all of the crew, which is another thing that, like, makes the whole marriage very rocky. Their relationship is going down the drain. Javier is like exclusively like, this is all this devil child's fault. I hate this kid. This is why I didn't want a kid. If we didn't have a kid, this wouldn't happen. And then at some point, the kid is dating I think an actress who's a little bit older than him. The neighbors have heard a, you know, disturbance at her place. She's found dead. He's the last one that was there. She was murdered. And it was pretty clearly him. But then he disappears. The case never, like, materializes. He's never arrested. He and Javier's wife just disappear. And everyone's like, oh, she ran away with the kid. They never, you know. Yeah. She wanted to protect the kid, and, you know, that's what happened. So that's just where the media coverage ends and stuff. So it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on here then? Yeah. And again, this is extremely close to the end. So, like, the reveals are right afterwards. Like, while the other people are still, like, talking, she goes upstairs, wants to go to her room, but gets, like, blasted with, like, ghost energy from the locked room or whatever, and has, like, basically experiences a vision, a flashback of what happened in the past to, like, the ghost. And you see it's Michael coming home and, like, them fighting about it, and Javier's like, dude, the murder weapon was in your room. You are getting arrested. You are going to jail. I'm not letting you use my lawyers. You can get a public defender for all I care. Yeah. You are fucking going to jail. I hate you, basically. And the mom's like, no, we should have it. But, like, the kid's like, oh my God, I'm definitely going to jail. He definitely, obviously did it. He's not even like, no, I'm framed. He's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to go to prison. Kid tries to murder Javier. He doesn't hit him quite right, but Javier grabs, like, a bust or something, like a decorative or a vase, something, hits the kid. Kid is immediately dead. And they're like, oh my God. You know, Javier's like, well, obviously it was self-defense, like, I didn't mean to. And the wife's like, yes, I know, I saw it, like, he did, like, we get it from her perspective, basically her inner monologue, where she's like, no, I can tell you didn't, you know, do it on purpose, but, like, we need to call the police. And he's like, I mean, no, it would ruin my career if we did. I have prop stuff, we can embalm him, we can like hide him, no one ever has to know what happened to him. We'll just say he ran away because he was scared of getting caught.
Is he in the suit?
And no, he's not in the suit.
Oh, thank God.
And she's like, are you fucking crazy? No, we are not doing this. You said he should take responsibility of what happened. And so that's what we should do. Like, you should also, like, I will tell them it was self-defense, fine. And he's like, no. He gets so mad because he's like, you were defending him. You were still taking his side. He's dead and you're, like, on his side, which, again, crazy behavior. And then he strangles her. And then we find out, well, like, Harry in front of everyone, like, accuses him, and he's like, how the fuck did you know all of that? And she's like, yeah, because your fucking ghost wife told me. I had a vision of this. And he's like, oh, that's crazy. And then he opens the room for them, and they're like, and he's like, oh no, she's not dead. I strangled her, but she's not fully dead. Earlier on, we had, like, a doctor visit and go into the locked room. I have a doctor, like, she's, you know, in a coma right now, but I have a doctor coming in who's, like, making sure she's fine. And they go into that room, and they're, like, in the corner, there's, like, crates, and you know that the son's corpse is probably in there.
Oh, God.
Like, embalmed and all, so it doesn't, like, you know,
oh, God,
rot. And so he could ship it as a prop, and people wouldn't, like, check it too closely. That's how he got them from California to Chicago. But then it's like, then they take a closer look at, like, the wife, because she's connected to, like, an IV, and there's, like, a monitor, and they're like, dude, that IV is not, that's just taped to her arm. That monitor is just running, you know, the standard animation. That's not a real heartbeat. She's also dead and, like, you know, preserved, but he's not. He's pretending that she's still alive. He has a doctor coming who's paid well enough who just, like, refreshes the IV and is, like, plays along with this crazy charade. And
is he, like, mentally unwell and that's why he believes she's still alive? Or, like,
oh, he's definitely mentally unwell. He's definitely, like, he's having a breakdown. He's like, no, she's definitely alive. No, you guys don't get it.
So
she's
he believes that she's still alive.
He definitely believes that, but
okay.
It's like, this woman is so fucking dead, my man. She's so fucking dead.
Oh, damn.
So everyone's like, okay, we are leaving right now. We are not. You are crazy. We are not staying here. And then Harry's like, because Gabe isn't there, she told him to pack his stuff and go outside. He didn't see the creepy embalmed, like, you know, bodies.
Corpses,
She's like, no, I am leaving. I'm taking my son with you. You will never see us again. This is fucking creepy shit. And, like, she leaves the room while Daniel and Javier, like, are shouting at each other. And then she's like, oh, fuck. It was too silent. And then she gets pushed down the stairs. And it's like, because Javier moves very silently when he wants to. And she didn't notice. He was like, no, if you're dead, like, where's your son gonna go? Right? He can stay with me and I can have, like, a better son who likes me. He's like, oh no, he loves me so much. And I need, like, a muse to make movies. Like, this is he's like my son now. This is, like, I'm stealing your son. But before he can, you know, kill her, like, the costume comes back to life because that's what, you know,
the ghost.
His son was at set for, like, he was, like, playing the monster from that specific like costume. And it's like the costume basically does spontaneous combustion and holds onto him, so he's, like, burning. The whole house starts burning. They're running out with all their, like, stuff. They're like, well, I'm glad this house is burning to the fucking ground because, oh my fucking god, that was crazy.
Is the other actor still alive? The Daniel guy?
Yeah.
Or is, like...
Yeah, Daniel's still alive. He comes out with her and he's like, wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he makes one comment about, well, Javier used to say this and this, and she says, yeah, he says a lot of things. And that's basically where the book ends.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, the house is suitably crazy. Like, it's like, the house is creepy. The fucking, you know, prop costume is creepy.
Yeah.
But the pacing is off. So the main thing I would fix is that, like, they need to move into that house sooner. They need to be forced to be in that creepy house earlier. Because, again, they move in, like, maybe 50, 60 pages from the end. It's very late. This is, like, a 300-page book. Like, it's very late. This needs to be happening earlier. Because, like, yes, it is good tension to have someone be, oh god, I'm gonna leave my house, I'm gonna lose my living space, what am I gonna do? But, like, the moment Javier meets her son Gabe, you're like, he's obviously gonna offer for them to stay there. It's a horror book, it's the creepy horror house, they're about to lose their obviously they're gonna move in there. Like, it's not a surprise. We all know it's gonna happen. So we can just skip there quicker, be like, okay. It can just be right after that first dinner she gets evicted, and, you know, it just happens quicker, you know. I think that's very important. And I also think that, like, we need more haunting stuff. I feel like even though, like, obviously the son would have, like, a specific attachment to, like, that costume, because that's the one he was on set with one time when he got stabbed by his dad for being horrible to work with. Like, the things we learn about that kid sucked so bad. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, it would have been good if he went to prison, because quite frankly, oh my god, this fucking kid, man, the worst. I would not want to meet this guy. But I also think that there should be, like, more weird, unexplainable stuff. Not quite unexplainable, because it's like, well, this is a house owned by an eccentric man who might be doing stuff to, you know, test me, to test if I'm keeping his privacy, if I'm doing my work right. So, like, more like, oh, stuff seems to have moved since I was last in this room. Oh, now something's dirty or broken that wasn't before. And I'm like, did he do that? Is he gonna accuse me of having done that? Like, you know, a little bit more, like, weird things for her. And also, you know, he's super protective of all his props and all his stuff, like, because those are his babies. He's, like, super nice. So it's like, if something did break or was, like, dirty or in a different position, then you also have the tension of him being mad at Harry because he thinks she did that, because the hauntings don't happen when he's in the room. Probably because his wife and son are scared of him because he's fucking crazy and he killed them. But, like, they usually don't happen when he's there, so he'd just be like, what the fuck are you doing? This is, like, unacceptable behavior. I can't prove you did this, but I'm pretty sure you did this, you know? He'll come, I don't know, like, you know, out of bed in the morning and sees, like, something is, like, dirty or broken where she worked yesterday, and he's like, he didn't notice it yesterday, but he's pretty sure, like, it wasn't him, so who else could it have been, right? And that would also make, like, the work atmosphere, like, more tense. A bit more, And I think it would also be, like, a good, because we don't really get to see much of his, like, personal temper before she has her first breakdown, so it's, like, pretty... And also, obviously, all of that is, like, turned up to 11 if she also lives there. Yes. It has to be there all the time, you know, so...
Has to sleep there.
I also thought that, like, maybe it would also be fun that if he knows his shit-ass son is haunting his house, but he doesn't want Harry to think that, you know... Because then she'd be like, why would the ghost be in this house, man? And he'd be like,
first step, ghost.
Definitely
second
has
step,
nothing to do with the locked room, right? That I'm telling you never to go into. And he's gaslighting her about it. Because she's like, I'm pretty sure there's ghosts, but, like, some weird shit is happening. Because I feel like, you know, he does seem like the type who would gaslight people. He is, like, that. Absolutely. That does fit his vibe. Also, it needs to be remarked that the information that Javier's son and wife have just disappeared comes pretty late in the novel as well. Like, we get very far into it, and then eventually it's like, what even happened to his family? I know there was some sort of scandal, but what actually happened? Then you're like, huh. The son probably murdered a woman. That's bad. But then that case never went anywhere. And then much, much later, it's like, oh, actually, his wife also disappeared. And the son. That's crazy. And, like, very shortly before the end, before all the, like, crazy reveal stuff goes down, Harry also thinks, wait, his wife didn't have a job. She was a housewife. She didn't have her own money. Wouldn't he know where she is? Because she's withdrawing funds from the accounts he owns or co-owns, like, depending on the situation. Like, shouldn't he know where she is? It's like, oh, he definitely knows where she is. But, like, that's also, like, a thought where it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, yeah, also, I forgot to mention, but, like, obviously, like, I think it's obvious, but, like, the dead woman was killed by Javier, too, because she went into the corpse room and saw what happened there, and he was like, well, she would have told people that.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I was like, why? Because I assumed, the suit.
Yeah, at first everyone assumes it's like the ghost because we've seen the costume move. We're like,
right,
oh, that thing's a murderer.
So it was like the son kill the woman because she was mean to our main character, but no, it's Javier. Okay.
No, and it's also like I think the way Harry looks at it near the end is like that he was probably, like, obviously he's an asshole. So he wasn't, like, being nice about it, but he wasn't trying to kill her or the woman. He was just trying to make them pay attention. Because, like, Harry knew something was up with that room. Like, Harry knew something was up at all. And, like, but she didn't react to any of it because she needed to keep her job. So the haunting stuff escalated, and she's like, well, when I refused to pay any attention to it, then he started possessing my son because he was like, well, at least this you can't ignore, you've got to deal with this. But yeah, I also feel like because the doctor is also, like, the doctor who comes into the locked room is let in and out. Also, only gets introduced once they live there. We only find out there's a doctor coming in and out of that locked room when they live there. Yeah. But he also goes in there with Javier together. So it's like, okay, maybe he's just like, that's his private medical room where he, lets his doctor examine it. He has a giant house. Why not have, a room for medical stuff if you have, like, medical needs? So I feel like that also should come up earlier. Like, I understand that, I mean, if they move in earlier, that naturally comes up earlier. But it's like, a lot of, like, the stuff really related to how the wife and son disappeared, like, and what's up with, like, Javier's family, that there is, like, the mystery really comes up very late. It's like, oh, there was a scandal around him, like, something with his family, that's why he, stopped making movies, that's, it's like, okay, but that's not scary. You're just like, well, that sucks for him. I understand why he would move. It's like, okay, yeah. So I feel like it might also be possible because we already have the chapters about, like, their past, like, both Harry and Javier, where we see, like, them at different moments in their life. If we could add in, stuff that's like a news article or, like, chat room, like, stuff outside the narrative where we get insight into what that drama was and, like, how the outside world perceives it outside of the characters at, like, I don't know, like, at different points in the novel. So from the beginning we're like, oh, there's definitely something more going on there than just oh, there was, like, a family accident. Because at first it's just like, oh, there was a thing with his wife, she left him or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's sad and all, but, like, not important. Like... And then it feels like there is, like, the creepy buildup is suitably creepy. Like, I also saw a review that was like, wow, almost nothing happens. This wasn't a horror book. And I'm like, horror also works with implication. Sometimes things don't, like, people don't need to be splattered on the walls all the time for it to be scary. In fact, when that happens, it becomes less scary. I also
Yeah.
read a comment very similar on like in the reviews of a gothic horror book I read, like, or like a recently published book that was like, oh, this is gothic horror, you know,
Yeah.
like it's inspired by that,
vibes.
so it's not like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
from
yeah.
that period.
I get it.
So I was just like, that was really funny to me. But I will say that like the hauntings that Harry experiences, like, yeah, sure, they are tied to his dead family who he keeps, you know,
In his
as
room?
like props in his house. But the relation to that comes so late that it doesn't hit right. Like it's not
Yeah.
it doesn't have the right punch to it. So I think that also definitely needs to be happening earlier. Yeah. I do think the part that is really fun is to have Javier's perspective on stuff before the reveal, because like you see him talk about his family and it's like he's totally the victim. Yeah, no, it's his family that's sexy ass.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing it from like other angles and you're like, I think that man might just be a bit of a narcissist. I think maybe he's not quite as victim status as he likes to pretend. So,
yeah.
So that's yeah. But yeah, no, mostly it's like we need more haunting stuff. We need them to live in that house for like maybe several weeks, months. Like it needs to be bad. It needs to get real bad. Harry needs to have more weird hallucinations or things she thinks are hallucinations and go, is there fucking anything in the air in this house or am I just fucking crazy? Like, am I like, is
This would
anyone else
be-
also experiencing this?
This would be so fun as a movie where you like continuously in the background things just move more.
Yeah.
You know,
it would
that'd
be so-
be it's
Yeah,
like in
and I
the did you watch Midsummer?
Not yet. It is on my list, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
There's a part later in the movie where like, and you don't really notice it in the beginning, but where like it feels like she's on hallucinogenics because flowers suddenly start to like move like this, and it's subtle. You don't notice at first until you're like, oh, they're all like pulsating and shit. So that I always feel like that would be. I like horror movies where something moves in the background. That's the kind of scary I can take.
This would work really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I think more props should also move. I think it should not just be the one, although like that one should be like the main one because it has like a meaningful connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was perfectly fine. I don't know. I think I rated it 4 stars, which. But then again, on Goodreads is like, well, 3 is the middle, so 3 is the like, okay, this was just okay, fine. So if I'm like, yeah, this was good, I guess it has to be 4 stars, even though every time I'm on Goodreads, I'm like, that feels too much. But like, if I tried to use my scale logically, then I guess that it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my scale isn't logic. Like, good thing to lead with. But like for me, 3 is not. It was okay. For me, 3 is like, you know, it was okay and better, right? Because I'm very lenient that way. So like usually a 2.5 is like it was okay, and then a 2 is like you're already on thin ice. Like the range is not equivalent between each of the stars for me, actually.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, well, it's like a 5 out of 10, you know? It's like the midpoint where it's like, well, it's not bad, but it's not particularly good either. And then the 4 is like, well, it's more good than it is neutral. And then 5 is anything, oh yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
At least, like, for me on Goodreads. In my personal review lists, I'm a lot more critical, but I'm like, well, people on Goodreads are overly nice generally, like, who cares?
Yeah. Let's be nice too.
Yeah.
All right, but
All
yeah,
right.
I can see why there's a pacing issue of like too many things happen too late.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's not terrible because like obviously things go wrong more like the moment they move in. I'm like, well, but you don't. That is the perfect time to really get hit with the creepy as fuck ambiance, and you can have like the real fucked up moment of like, oh, we are so fucking trapped in this house because like. I mean, we could go to a shelter, but it's more difficult, especially like reporters are everywhere outside still. The wealthy owner of this house doesn't want us to leave either.
Yeah.
Fucking creepy shit keeps happening. Maybe more injuries. I think more injuries would also be good.
Yeah. A little bit of danger to the body
but
as well.
But yeah, like not just like you have the tension of like, oh god, what if we're gonna get kicked out of our apartment? Oh god, we have to move in with this guy. But we don't have a lot of, oh god, I live here now and I cannot escape this. So I wish there was more of that. I think that would work great, because I feel like that's also what his wife experienced. She was like, oh, I like this guy, but actually ooh. It's going real downhill here.
Oh, that is definitely, like, an interesting... Like, the whole premise and everything sounds super interesting. And, like, the way it's set up, very interesting, very cool. And, like, the way you've been... I mean, you guys have not been seeing my face. Duck number one has been seeing my face. I was
shooketh.
Was shooketh all over the place. So like, it is an engaging story.
Yeah, there is also, I forgot to mention, but there's what I really like a very not quite pro-divorce, but like a pro like single motherhood message in this, which is like, yeah, Christina Henry is a feminist. Okay, yeah, I get it, because you have the parallel of Harry and Javier, where it's like Harry also was in a relationship with someone who she thought like was true love, but who was like, I don't want this kid. Like, you should probably get an abortion. Like, I'm not, I don't want to raise a kid. And she was like, no, I want this kid. But if you don't want it, then we're gonna separate. Yeah. I don't want you in my life. She also had the chance to like go to him for like child support, and she was like, you know what, no, I do not want this man in my life anymore. I do not want him to have access to this kid he didn't want. We're not doing that. Where in Javier's family it's like, oh, he didn't want the kid, but his wife stayed, and it was like terrible for everyone involved. And it's like, yeah, sometimes it is better.
That's what happens.
Split up. If you disagree on something as fundamental as, should we have a kid that we're gonna be raising for 2 decades? Like, come on.
And just the idea to say, like, you don't have to take part in raising is also such a insane thing to do if you think about your kid. It's like, you make the decision that it's not, okay, for your, like, Harry says, I'm going to raise you alone without the other person, because this will be better for you. The Javier and his wife made the decision to still have the second person in the kid's life. So, like, there's the constant reminder that
they didn't divorce. I'm just like, if you disagree on having a kid, you probably shouldn't stay together while having the kid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really sorry, but if you're in a situation where you're 2 people in a monogamous relationship and one of you wants a kid and the other one doesn't, that's a ground for divorce. That's a ground to split up seriously, because, like, children are such a commitment, and you can fuck up children so bad. Not even in a relationship where you're actively fighting or anything. There just needs to be... Children notice this. Yeah. Children feel if there's something up. They're not stupid. They're extremely sensitive. It will ruin kids' childhood. Like, it's so... Like, there are so many kids who are like, my parents stayed together for the kids, but I wish they'd gotten a divorce, because, like, it would have been so much fucking better for everyone. I had a bad time, and it's like, yeah, obviously. Like...
So it's nice that the message... like, that there's like an underlying, or maybe not as underlying, but that,
it's if you have a kid, you have to choose the kid, and then like even if you are not wealthy, that kid can have a good life. It's like important that you love your kid if you have it.
Yes, exactly. So good on Christina Henry for Nailing that one.
I much prefer this this level of subtlety to the other thing we have read from her and discussed on the podcast.
Okay.
Now I want to hear what you're doing to Shadow and Bone. And you were not allowed to only be like, I'll just change it to be like the TV show. If you do that, I will kill you.
Episode end. Okay.
Good.
So, the blurb. Surrounded by enemies, the once great nation of Ravka has been torn in two by the Shadowfold, a swath of near impenetrable darkness crawling with monsters who feast on human flesh. Now its fate may rest on the shoulders of one lonely refugee. Alina Starkov has never been good at anything, but when her regiment is attacked on the Fold and her best friend is brutally injured, Alina reveals a dormant power that saves his life. A power that could be the key to setting her war-ravaged country free. That was hard. Wrenched from everything she knows, Alina is whisked away to the royal court to be trained as a member of the Grisha, the magical elite led by the mysterious Darkling. Yet nothing in the lavish world is what it seems. With darkness looming and an entire kingdom depending on her untamed power, Alina will have to confront the secrets of the Grisha and the secrets of her heart. That's the blurb. For the people who have only watched the TV show, because you just mentioned it, but I also had it at the back of my mind. Disregard most of the things you know. I feel like the first part of the show, not the first season, the first part of the first season covers most of the book quite faithfully. Throw away the whole Six of Crows Cas Brecker plot. That does not belong in Shadow and Bone. That's like a sequel situation. We also have videos on that, by the way.
Yeah. Cas Brecker was not born when Shadow and Bone happened.
Yeah, he was
As in, like, he did not exist as a character. It was like, he came up later.
He was already in universe existing.
Technically,
but like,
yes.
Yes.
But in the mind of the creator, no way.
Exactly. And they changed some things. They kept the overall vibe and, like, I feel like they changed some stuff in the middle and then the end again is faithful to what happens. The second season goes completely off the rails. The second season, not completely, but like the second season is a lot less faithful to the second book and the third book. But like first season is kind of fine. So
it's kind of fine.
Our main character, Alina, and this best friend, his name is Mal. They both grow up in the same orphanage, and they're like always stuck together. They're like besties, and with time that they age, Mal turns into this typical, this typical guy. You know, like he's sort of handsome, he's liked by his peers, he is skilled, he's charming to a certain extent, and he always defends Alina, because she's like the small, meek one who doesn't really speak up, and he has this sort of protective sense over her. And once they leave this age of, we're kids, and they start to develop into teenagers, Alina starts to develop a crush on him. That's like the starting situation that we start with at the beginning of the book. And they both get recruited into I think it's the second army. Yeah. I always mess that up. It's the second army.
The Grisha are the first, because they're the special boys.
Which is like, you have the whole army of Ravka. The first army is made up of the Grisha, like the mages, quote unquote. I think it's more like benders from Avatar, like Legend of Aang. But it is magical, so it's like, okay, the first army is the magic people, and the second army is all the non-magical people. And Alina is a cartographer, because she's really good at like drawing the maps and like getting the distances right and everything. And she's just artsy, you know. And Mal is, I think, like just a soldier and a tracker. He's really good at just tracking shit. Animals, soldiers, other battalions, whatever. And they
crazily enough, that has lore reasons, which turns out in the third book, and you're just like, that's insane. Why are we doing this?
And they get, like, the regiment gets sent to the fold, to this dark border that goes, like, directly, vertically through the country. And cleaves it in half. And the biggest problem of this fold is not just that on the inside there's monsters that eat humans, but the way that the map is made up. You have a continent, and we only see the western part of this continent on the map, which is adjacent to, like, the ocean, the sea. And at the north we have a country, in the south we have a country, and in the middle, that's where we have Ravka, the country they live in, and this shadow fold goes through Ravka, not through Shuhan, which is the country in the south, and not through Fjerda, which is the country in the north, through Ravka. And the problem is that the main city and, like, the parts on the directions on the east of that shadow fold are cut off from the ocean and the supplies and everything. So they have to pass through this fold, because otherwise, Ravka's kind of screwed. As it happens. So they get to the fold, because, there's constantly, like, sand skiffs, like ships that go through the sand of, like, the shadow fold.
Sandbenders from Avatar.
Again, sandbenders from Avatar. That get taken through, just that instead of bending the sand, they bend air, so that the ships have some wind to go through. And while they are there, it's not only the regiment, but also, like, the general of the First Army that comes to this shadow fold. Shadow fold? No, just the fold. The shadow fold, right? Who is the Darkling. Now, the Darkling is a sexy man, a mysterious sexy man. He is tall, he is pale, and he is dark. And
he's dressed in black because he's an emo legend.
Like, he's just... In the show, it's Ben Barnes, and people were very split on this decision. The one
like
side
Ravka.
of people... The one side of people were like, oh my god, perfect casting.
They're like, I've been horny about Ben Barnes since I watched Prince Caspian of Narnia.
Exactly.
Don't stop me now.
Some people were like, this is the guy that I imagined, and now we actually get him as the Darkling. This is insane. This is crazy. Like, what is happening? Other half of people is like, why does he have a beard? Because the Darkling in the book does not have a beard. Like, his very youthful appearance is, like, mentioned a couple of times, right? So, and a beard always kind of ages and matures a person, not like in a bad way, but if you have the character described
it just does,
one way,
obviously, yeah,
and then it's not a rugged beard, it's like nicely kept and stuff in the show, but still. He arrives there with his retinue of other First Army members, and there's like a little bit of a beef between the First and the Second Army, because the Grisha are like, we're kind of, better than you, and there's also a general distrust towards Grisha in general. So the Second Army is like, y'all sons of bitches, devil children, like we like,
the general population is like, you can do magic, I hate you.
Yeah. So there's like a
insane.
There's like a mutual distrust. And that's why it's kind of not like a fun thing that the First Army arrives.
It's
and
actually
then
hilarious because Alina almost gets run over by the Darkling's like carriage.
Yeah,
because she like stumbles or whatever. It's so funny. It's like, damn boy, you almost killed her. Can you imagine? That would be incredible.
Like, afterwards, she was like sweating. Was like, whoo, good thing that didn't happen. and they find out that their regiment actually is going to be part of the crew that goes into the Shadowfold with, the rest of the other people, which is like, oh shit, we have to go in there. Like, no, that's not something I want. But it happens still. They get taken on that sand skiff into the Shadowfold. Of course, they get attacked by the evil monsters, Volcra, that fly around and try to eat people. And trying to save Mal, because he gets snatched up by a monster when he tries to push Alina away, I think. Alina bursts out with light. She just lights up, like a little explosion, like a little sun. And the monsters fly away, and they manage to get out of the Shadowfold unscathed. Now, this is unheard of. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And she gets taken to the tent of the Darkling, who, again, conveniently also is at the Shadowfold. And people describe what happens, and at first Alina tries to wiggle her way out of it. She's like, oh no, nothing happened. And then he's like, a girl. And then there's this needle thing that they can use to test people for Grisha powers. And he tests her, and again, the light bursts out, and he's like, all right, this is perfect. You are the mythical sun summoner, the opposite to the Darkling powers, and you are going to be the key to destroying the Shadowfold and to saving Ravka, basically. Congratulations, you have been promoted. She struggles with that. She's like, no, I'm just a little orphan girl. And then gets whisked away to the capital and away from Mal and away from her usual life. And in the capital, she basically goes through a training montage. So Alina goes from second army to suddenly she's a Grisha. Suddenly she's this different breed of people, right? She gets treated like royalty. The other Grisha also kind of can't really relate to her because they're like, yeah, but you're the sun summoner. Like, you're not us, right? You're different. And she struggles a lot with accepting these new powers, feeling lonely, feeling left out of the field, and having to deal with this Darkling dude, right? Who seems a lot nicer than she initially thought. He saves her life several times on the journey to the capital. He keeps
he saves her life by cutting a guy in two,
which is insane.
a lot of cutting things in two happening. Right,
it's literally called the cut. Like the attack, he's like a Pokemon. He's like, it's a cut.
It's called the cut because he is an emo king who is cutting.
And she's starting to become very sympathetic to this man. He's not just a general. He sees he eats with the other people on the journey. He keeps very humble. He feels responsible for the Shadowfold because his grandfather created it, and it's this whole thing of we have to abide for the sins of our ancestors and try to fix stuff. And at the same time, she's starting to sort of befriend another Grisha. Her name is Jenya, and she is she can it sounds weird, she can bend the appearance of people. She's a magical, insanely good plastic surgeon. She can change hair color, eye color. She can basically change the whole appearance of a person. And she is mainly being used as personal glam squad of the queen. And as we later find out, she has also been gifted, quote unquote, to the king. She kind of befriends her. She goes into some squabble with another Grisha called Zoya, who's very she's the tough, beautiful, sexy girl, who also managed to ensnare Mal when they were at the Shadowfold, which is an additional thorn in Alina's eyes, right? And And she just kind of gets around there a little bit. And during her training with an old, like the typical old crone training montage thing, she starts to feel less and less lonely. The letters she's writing to Mal, whom he doesn't answer to, she kind of starts to forget them. She writes less of these letters, and she starts to feel more and more at home in this little palace that they live in there. And then there's like a big festivity to celebrate Alina and to celebrate that Ravka will finally not be shit anymore. and previously, in order to fit in, Alina has been wearing a blue uniform. So each of the like classes, you could say, or types of Grisha wear different uniforms, red, blue, or violet, and only the Darkling wore black. And for this festivity, Alina decides to wear her new uniform, her new kefta, which is also black, with like gold embroidery.
She has been gifted by the Darkling personally.
Yes.
He was like, here, wear this.
Like previously he was like, you're getting a black one. She was like, no, I don't want a black one, I want a blue one. Which he was like, okay, you get a blue one. But for this festivity, he was like, again, a black one. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna wear the fucking black one. I feel, I'm embracing things. Because that was also like a huge part of her not being able to embrace these powers, and that's why she can't control them. And at this festivity, the Darkling kind of pulls her aside. They make out, and it's like, oh my god, the Darkling is making out with me. Ah! She's all over the place. She's like a little... And then he leaves. She's alone. And the old crone, the old woman who's been training her, comes up and is like, girly po, you need to leave. And she's like, what do you mean? Why do I need to leave? And she's like, listen, actually,
that guy's my son. He's a freak.
The Darkling, he's old. He's like several hundred years old. I think 120 is what he says, right? He says he's 120 years old because Grisha power keeps you alive. But she's like, nah.
Lion. Yeah.
That wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. He is old. And I'm even older, and I'm his mom. And he, not his grandfather created the Shadowfold.
He did that.
He created the Shadowfold. And you need to leave. And you need to get away from here. Stat. Because what happens previously during the training montage is that because Alina can't control her powers, the Darkling says, okay, we need an amplifier, which is like usually like an animal bone, animal part, or like some sort of object that holds magic.
They're just magic. They make your magic stronger. And
you can like funnel it more into like submission. And basically she now tells her like that amplifier will make him be able to control you. We do not want that. He's a bad guy. Leave. Run away. So Alina runs away. And she nearly manages to like, she gets quite far. But at some point she gets assaulted by a guy in an alleyway, and she has to use her light powers to get away, and some soldiers see her using that power, so they now know where Alina is, and that kind of sets back her whole progress of running away that she had. And while she is running away, Mal actually catches her, and he's like, baby girl, what's been going on? Like, you're not writing me any letters. I'm not hearing anything from you. You're a big Grisha now. Why are you running through the woods? What is happening? Like, I've heard a couple of things, but you gotta tell me the truth. So she comes clear. They talk about it. And he says, I think your approach is wrong. Running away is not going to help. We have to be the first ones to be at the amplifier that the Darkling wanted to get for you, which is like a magical stag. Cutie little stag. Alina agrees. She's like, okay, you know what? I think you're right. And while they travel to the stag, they have like a lot of heartfelt moments. And in the end, Mal is like, Alina, I should have always known that it's you. I love you. Oh.
It's not just that. He's like, no, I've definitely loved you all my life. And it's like, no, you did not. Not like that.
Like, it's like you've always been there, and it's always been you, and I just didn't see it. You know, this typical kind of confession.
It's just like, whose fantasy is this? That sucks. He's such an ass. Like, it's hard.
And then,
Like,
silence. To your face. No, I completely agree with you. And they find the stag, and then Alina is like, listen, if we fail to get to the stag before the Darkling, I want you to kill me. I don't want to be controlled by the Darkling. And they find the stag, and instead of killing it, Alina's like, I can't kill it. I can't do it. Look at this beautiful stag. Look at this beautiful magical moment that I have with this stag. Sucks to be her, because an arrow comes flying. Or does he use the cut? I don't even remember. The Darkling and his dudes are also there. And
no, it's an arrow because somebody else, I think, shot it, and he then, like,
took the antlers off.
The stag with, like, a knife or something.
It's very dramatic. They kill the stag. One of her kind of friends that she made in the little palace, one of the other Grishas, is also there, and he's actually the one to create the amplifier for her. So they take off this is also not like in the TV show, okay? In the book, they take the antlers off, and it's like a necklace, like a choker necklace, very uncomfortable thing.
They call it a collar, I think.
Yeah. A collar, thank you, around her throat, you know? In the show, which I think for dramatic reasons looked so much cooler, but I was also like, what the fuck? In the show, he puts the antlers on her collarbones, and they basically sink into her collarbones, and the points of it like peeks out underneath her skin.
Itchy.
And it looks...
I like it.
It looks gross and hurtful, and she has to wear like a not necessarily low cut but like wide cut dress so that everybody can see, you know, the antlers sticking out. In the book, that's not the case. It's a collar necklace situation, and from then on, she feels that the Darkling has access to her power. Like, if he wants to, he goes bzzz, and then she goes bzzz, like a light bulb. So he whisks her away. They go to the Shadowfold, and they're like dignitaries from other countries, and he like wants to show them the Sun Summoner power. So they're on the boat. He uses Alina's powers to show, oh my god, look, light bubble, that's great, isn't it? Like through the whole Shadowfold, and the people are like, yay, great, cool, we can have a light street through the Shadowfold. And then the Darkling is, haha, fuck you, and like explodes the Shadowfold, like makes it like double the width, destroying cities along the way. And he turns around, he's like, ha! You pieces of ass. The Grisha are like, it basically he starts his Grisha supremacy speech, and that he has now all the power, basically has a little villain speech, throws Mal of the Sandskiff, because he's like, fucking die, peasant. Alina obviously is distraught. And then in the moment of like contemplation and like going into her own feelings, she realizes like, oh, actually I have control over the amplifier because I spared the stag. Me and the stag had a literal moment. Like, it wasn't just a moment, it was a literal moment. She can control her own powers, and now she's even fucking more powerful due to the amplifier. She breaks control. She also jumps off the ship. She uses her shadow powers her light powers to save Mal, and then they run away together, and the book ends with them departing from the west side of the fold, where the ocean is, to a different country on a boat. That's the first out of 3 books. So far for the plot. Now, I gotta pick up my notes. For my changes. My change is small, and yet changes the whole book. I think you already know what it is.
Do we kill Mal? Please tell me we're killing
We don't
Mal.
kill Mal. We just keep it as friends. And dare I say, we push it more into the sibling direction. I feel like a lot of the emotional turmoil that Alina goes through is made like it's just as bad, if not made worse, if this isn't like a person she's attracted to that she's missing, but her only family she has left. This is the one person who has been with her whole life, right? And you can play the whole thing without having to have Mal as a terrible love interest in the mix. She can be jealous.
So unpleasant in the first book. Like in the books generally, it's difficult to overstate how unpleasant he is. Other than to say, the fandom was legitimately split 3 ways in 3 different like main pairings, and 2 of them were like, you know what? I'm not like, we have different opinions on who she should fuck, but we're both sure it should not be Mal
should not
ever.
Be him.
And that was the majority of fans.
The first scene, the jealousy over Mal being with Zoya, when they are at the Shadowfall for the first time, is just as valid if you've always been with this one person. They're your life. They're your sibling, right? Like sibling, quote unquote, not in blood. And suddenly they've been starting to get distracted more because of puberty, and suddenly this person whom in your eyes is like the perfect person, beautiful, sexy, powerful, a Grisha, and that person's like snatches away the attention of that one other person in your life. That's just as valid of an emotion to have, even if you're not romantically interested in the person being snatched. Then the writing letters, because you miss your family. You're in a completely new situation, right? You don't know anyone there. Nobody wants you there. You feel like you don't belong. And then the only person that made you feel belong, they don't answer you. They don't write back. They're not they're not interesting to you. So you kind of have to you feel lost. You feel sad. You've tried your whole life to not use powers, to not give in to that feeling that you've been having, like the weird, buzzing energy, because you love this person so much. And they just say, oh, fuck you, I don't care about you anymore, because now you're a magic avatar, on the other side of the country. So this new family, it's like the perfect breeding ground for the Darkling to go, oh no, poor Alina, we are your new family. Look, here, go. They love you so much. It works just as well, if not, again, in my opinion, even better, if you don't have the romantic implication in there.
Especially because he even, Mal is at that, party where they're showing off Alina, and he refuses to talk to her. Like, she chases after him, and he doesn't want to speak to her, and she's extremely hurt by that. Yeah. And, that's also why she's like, oh, I'm definitely going to get laid, tonight by the guy who actually cares about me. Mm-hmm. Which is...
And it would be such a... I mean, in the book, it's also played like that, but it's such a nice mirror to this, Alina watches Zoya and Mal get it on, presumably. So, on the other side, you have now Alina having her... Darkling Zoya, the beautiful, powerful man whom she gets to be with. And it's this guy who gives her everything. And it's so easy for him. It's so easy for him because just look at her.
I mean, it's also because at the beginning of the book, it's not just Mal is dallying with Zoya and that's the first time. It's no, he's been rizzing up and sleeping with girls all the time.
He's the charmer.
Which is also why when he then goes, no, I've always really loved you, but you were too precious to touch. And I'm like, nah, girl, you were lying so much right now.
He was the orphanage bad boy.
It's also, I think it would also help just because their romantic drama legitimately makes the second and third book worse than they could be if it wasn't there. It's not even that, he's an unpleasant love interest. It's just that the problems that arise just because he's jealous is so stupid. She's
It
like,
really,
to him,
yeah.
I think I've been hallucinating the Darkling. It's really fucking me up. And he's like, you've been hallucinating the guy who you almost slept with, but then turned
Yeah.
out to be super evil, and, you know, now you hate. Why don't you tell me you want to date him more than me? And then he runs off, and it's just like, Mal, are you fucking stupid? That's literally not
Yeah.
the conversation you were having.
So
And
that's
he's
like,
no, I've got to get into a fist fight and sleep with Zoya. This will fix my life.
so it's like, it's just, and it also makes the whole, is it the last quarter or kind of like of the book when they reunite and then travel to get the stag?
Yeah.
For the reader, it's such an awkward situation because I mean, the manipulation works on the reader just as well, right? We don't know why Mal doesn't respond. We think he's an asshole because of the things that he does previously. So you're like, okay, whatever. The Darkling is charming. You're like, oh, the Darkling, right? Then you find out, the Darkling, oh no. But the feeling of Mal is the bad guy and the Darkling is the nice, charming one still stays while reading. So then you get to the situation where they reunite and there's like a short period of them not liking and agreeing each other, like Elena and Mal. And then they get into a skirmish and then Elena saves Mal through it, and afterwards they kind of rejoice a little bit more and they're like, okay, you know what, that we're still a good team, you know. And then in a very short time for the reader, we go from Mal being like, I just never received your letters. I thought you were ghosting me. Like, I thought you were done with me because you're now Grisha and you're better than us. To, I've always loved you my whole life. To, we are basically a couple now. And it's such a short time span that breaches too many, like, levels of relationship, in my opinion at least. And it would make it a lot smoother if it was more of a revisiting of, we are family. Whatever you are doing, whatever has been happening to you, I'm here for you. I love you. Like, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be just a genuine loving moment between siblings, like quote-unquote siblings, like found family.
The thing is also that, like, even if that maybe was not implied, it reads a lot like, oh, yeah, you've always had a crush on me, but I only realized you were hot when, you know, somebody else paid attention to it, or when other people also thought you were special. So now now you're good enough for me to want to date. Like, that is the vibe. Because she's always been sickly, because Grisha gets sick when they don't use the power.
Exactly,
and she was suppressing hers so, you know, people wouldn't notice, and, like, she could stay with Mal. So she's always been like, oh, I'm so average and so sad and, like, so pathetic. He would never be in love with somebody like me. And then she becomes, like, healthy and radiant, and she's the specialist princess in the world because she has this power that no one else has. And now he's like, no, I definitely love you. Like, even if that's not the intention of the story for a reader, it's, like, impossible not to see that. It's like wow.
I get that sometimes you need to see how nicely a person cleans up, you know, quote unquote, for you to realize that, oh my god, the person is hot, right? But if you want to spin it in the way of, like, I always loved you, it's a bit weird to then go with the, well, and now you're smoking, you know, so.
Right, like, it's just
it's
because
weird.
I feel like it might be one of the later books, but I feel like the text had Mal literally say, oh, I was in love with you since this one time when we were children, when I saw you run towards me from the house or whatever. And I'm like, you did certainly not act like that. Right? What are you talking about? And I'm like, listen, I understand if Lee Bardugo, like, is attached to her, you know, to her characters, and it's like, no, they're perfect for each other. But, like, so many readers just were like, no, I know a guy just like Mal in real life, and I fucking hate him.
And the thing is, when so she intended to write the whole story and the Darkling from her own experience with manipulative, beautiful men, or one definitive man. I don't really know. But her idea was to show that there's like an easy way to manipulate the young girl that doesn't feel seen, and that you should reconsider the people around you and the people who have always been there for you, and that they do love you and that they are there for you, and that, you don't need the beautiful Darkling, right? But the way she wrote Mal and the way she wrote the Darkling is it backfired so fucking hard, and she didn't understand why people didn't like Mal and were so easily like going to the I think Darklina is the ship name of the two of them.
But the real message of the books is that you should neither go with your childhood friend who ignored you for hotter women or the manipulative older guy. You should go with Nikolai Lantsov, who is the sexiest guy alive and the funniest.
Go for the sarcastic blonde man.
Who cosplays as a pirate when he's in the mood, and who is a bastard, and who is so funny, and who's like, we should get married for tax benefits.
I made one change that I wrote down. I was like, I just gotta read the note that I wrote. Alina and Zoya should be endgame. I said what I said.
Honestly, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all.
There's a lot of people who ship Genya and Alina, but I like Genya and what is his name? David. Too much. I think they are very cute. And I think Alina and Zoya are the perfect enemies to friends to lovers setup. Like, the way she's like, oh, this person is so fucking beautiful. It's like, yeah, girly, go get her. They have a fight in the training ring, right? It's like, I see it. I feel it.
Also, you cannot forget that Zoya was like in the group of hand-picked, like the Darklings, like inner circle, like favorite guys. So she's also had experience with being manipulated by that bitch.
Yes.
They can bond over that.
It's actually something that they play up a lot in the Netflix show. It's like, that's his thing. He uses and manipulates people, and especially young women that fall in love with him. It's his way of, like, he's weaponizing it. And he has done it to several people, to a lot of Alina's friends, which is one of the reasons why in the later books she so easily, quote unquote, forgives Genya for her like betrayal to Alina, because Alina's like, I get it. I get it.
I feel like it helps a lot that Genya also got tortured and was also repeatedly raped by the king over the years. So I feel like Alina is like, you know what? Your life did suck a lot, so, you know.
I get why you would, do the things you did. But yeah, that's something that they play up a lot in the show. And I feel like it would be, that sounds really mean, it would be a good bonding experience for the two.
No, it would be.
It
would absolutely be.
So that's a definitive fact in my rewrite. At the end of the series, they will get together. That's it.
And Mal should be dead. I think, no, it's like spoilers, but he gets killed and then he gets resurrected. I am so against character resurrection. Just don't kill him. If you want them to survive, just don't kill him. Just be like, you know what? He didn't need to die. There were other ways around it.
It's the one thing. Basically, the Netflix show is a rewrite. The Netflix show was Leigh Bardugo's chance to change things she didn't like about the books. Set up what didn't happen. Set up a Six of Crows, like their own TV show, right? And go into a different direction that's fun and exciting. And which is why I actually have beef with Netflix that they canceled the show. Because at the end of the show, right, Mal dies, and Alina's like, we have to bring him back. I have to. And this person isn't there in the book, right? But Nina is there, a character of Six of Crows. And she is like a super corporalky. She's like a heart render. She can stop hearts. But during what happened in Six of Crows, she gets like other superpowers. But anyways, she's there. This other superpowers don't matter. But she's there in the finale. And she tries to resurrect. Thank you. Resurrect Mal, and it doesn't work. She's like, I'm sorry. First of all, I'm no healer. Second of all, he's gone. He's dead. And there's this thing that they call Merzost, which is like abusing the balance of nature that gives them the Grisha powers.
It's evil magic.
And it's evil magic, and like it takes something away from you when you do it, which is why the Darkling is so evil, because he used Merzost as well. And Alina's like, no, we gotta save him, bitch. And Nina's like, I literally can't. He's dead. He's dead. And Nina's like, use Merzost, save him. And Nina's like, I can't. No, I will not. And then Nina goes away, I think to heal Zoya or something, to help her, because Zoya makes a sound, whatever, and helps her, looks back, and sees that Alina did something, and Mal starts breathing again. And it's like, oh no, I think our sun summoner did some sun fuckery, and revived this dude that was definitely dead. And then, so in the books, in the end, Alina dies. She does not, but she dies. The sun summoner power gets distributed to other people. You now have several sun summoners, and she and Mal like go off and become like
run the orphanage where they used to be kids.
Exactly. It's like a sweet ending, sort of. Though I hate the give up power trope, which does not happen in the Netflix show, right? She revives Mal. She and Nikolai actually get married. Like, it's their marriage ceremony. They are at court, they're standing there in the regalia. It's being said like, blah, 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 you want to take this person as a wife, blah, 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 blah. And then the plot that actually starts in Six of Crows with the red powder and the drug and everything, that starts right there in the throne room. There's like a Fjord Grisha terrorist, basically, like, right? That goes crazy because they were on the, was it Parem? I forgot what it was called. On the drag, right? And then Alina does the shadow cut thing, which she shouldn't be able to do. She's a sun summoner. Why can't she shadow fuck around? And that's actually exciting. I was like, oh my god, that's great, but unfortunately they canceled the show, so we will never know what happens to evil Alina.
I always think it's kind of funny when authors try to, fanfic their own work. They're just doing an adaptation, so they're changing stuff around. And I say this because on AO3 I have found at least 2 or 3, there's probably more, fics that are just straight up full full reworks of the whole series, extremely canon adjacent, but mostly they're just like, Mal's not the main love interest, Mal dies. Like, there's a lot of like, oh, we're just,
Mal erasure
slightly differently. I mean, some of them are just like, okay, yeah, this is Dark Lena Endgame or whatever. But like, we're working up to it, and it's just funny to me.
And the Netflix show feels like the same. Because listen, if you only know Netflix show Mal, I could see myself getting into a relationship with Netflix show Mal, because he's a lot more charming, a lot more nice. I mean, obviously we have multiple POVs, so we find out that he doesn't get the letters, so there's a lot of less hatred, towards him, because you're like, oh no, he doesn't get the letters, he loves her.
No,
but he's letters. He's a lot more decent in the show, and which is also one thing why I'm mad, because I'm like, I would have in context of the books, this is insane. But he actually, because Elena gets married to Nikolai, right? He's like, I'm sorry, babe, but I can't watch this. I have to leave. So he becomes the new Stormont. He goes off with the crew. And it's like, right? I'm so mad at Netflix. Fun. I wanted to see how this fanfic goes. It's like an uncompleted fanfic that last honestly, updated like 3 years ago, right?
I'm just like, we got a Nicolina wedding, so I'm happy. I don't even care. I don't even care about Netflix. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't even care about the actual Shadow and Bone anymore either. Yes. But, like, at the time I cared, I was like, I love Nikolai. Why is there, like... Why do we choose Mal at the end? Nikolai's so much more... Like, if you're not gonna... Like, obviously, if you have reading comprehension, you're like, obviously the Darkling is the villain, so he can never be the endgame and love interest. But he is fun to think about. But still, I was like, why are we doing Mal? Nikolai is literally right fucking there.
Like, Blondie's right there. Why can't we get him?
He's just such a fun guy. And
yeah. It's unfortunate, especially because he has a lot of self-awareness. He's like, listen, I know you don't love me, but I would take good care of you. I would request very little that we need to do in order to keep this front, right? I know you love Mal. He's important to you. There's a couple things we'll need to, keep up the appearance, but otherwise, I'm making this proposition to you as a friend, which is just beautiful, He's a very lovable guy.
Yeah, no, it's also, I know, like, I mentioned this often, I don't care for sequels, but I also don't care for, like, Nikolai Zoya, because a lot of it feels like just, they're left over, and they're now the main characters, so they have to get together, which I just don't really care for. Like, I'm sure there's, like, chemistry in there's work put towards them being a more convincing, but, like, we have Zoya literally say in, like, either the second or third book that she's like, Nikolai's not my type. Like, I don't, like, I would not be into him. And I'm just like, can we... Do two leading characters always have to end up together?
Yeah. And, I get it. And they have a couple of scenes in King of Scars where I'm like, that is romantic, or that, gives subtext. But at the same time, those could easily... just have been interpreted a little bit different if the end goal was not them getting together. So, because I love their dynamic in King of Scars, it's actually quite interesting and fun. But if you're like, because it's, they're gonna end up together, it's a bit of an oomph.
The knowledge of what will happen.
Exactly. But, that's my rewrite. It's a very simple but effective change.
I think so. I think it would cascade very heavily in the later books. Right. I think it would help a lot.
It would just make things a lot better, in my honest opinion.
I mean, you know me, I'm always pro taking romance out of things. I'm like, yes, make love illegal, no more love, yes.
It's not even make love illegal. It's like get the horny ass people out of here, and get the platonic love, the romantic love out of here. More platonic love.
Like, only horny scenes between heroes and villains. No more childhood friends being horny.
No, I'm a person that likes friends to lovers, right? It's one of my. It's like this genuine love I have, right? But if it doesn't make sense, if it's a bad romance, cut it. I hated the romance scenes in the third book when they are at the orangerie or what it was. Like
God, yeah.
Where they have their spicy scene. It's not spicy, it's a cut to black. But like, it felt like he was taking something from her. I felt a visceral reaction to that scene. It did not feel like the culmination to a beautiful romance. I felt not sick, but very unwell when I read that.
I mean, honestly, I blocked that one out. All I remember from that is that they're like writing their names together into a book where it's like, oh, someone will like find us, like even when we're gone, like even if we die, something.
No, I'm pretty sure they have their
no, I'm sure they do.
Scene.
There's a lot of weird, I mean, that's its own whole conversation, but there's a lot of, oh, we might die tomorrow, like last hurrah sex in both YA and adult, where it's like,
yeah,
oh, we might die, so we definitely have to have sex before that. And I'm just like, really? Does that not ruin the mood a little bit? At least for some people, they can't just all be like, no, actually, danger makes me horny. Not everyone can be like this.
To a certain extent, I get it. It's just like, the emotions are overflowing, the not knowing whether the other person will survive, and it's just
many things
like,
are overflowing.
And you want to hold them one last time or one first time,
One first,
like,
last time.
One first, last time, yeah. I understand it. That doesn't really bother me. I don't see it in the way of like, if it's done right or done well, it doesn't feel like checking a box before we might die, but more like a natural consequence to the amount of stress you're under. And for some people, the last thing they think about is sex in that moment. And for other people, it's like one of the things is like, get my mind off things, get a good orgasm in, fall asleep out of exhaustion and stress and, the physical activity you just went through. And then you don't really have to, like, hopefully you can fall asleep and the next morning you have to tackle whatever comes. So I don't have a problem with that if it doesn't feel like checking a box.
Like, it's I don't think it's, like, weird at all that it happens, but it is extremely common in books. And at some point, I'm just like, they cannot all want to have sex at least once before that thing happens.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I don't think everyone's like this. I don't believe you, authors. I think some of you are lying to me. I think these people would not even be thinking about sex right now.
Yeah, I guess it really depends. Considering how horny a lot of romantasy is.
No, in romantasy for sure, but I mean also just like other books. Like it also happened in like Starling House, which is like half like horror, and I'm just like, why are you having sex right now?
Because
this is like a
again,
weird time
it's overflowing.
Keep the fluids inside. You need them. I don't need to stop it.
That's actually
gonna start a new movement that's like no sex before the climax.
That's actually one very controversial point. I just need to drop this in here random. In the second season of The Last of Us, because spoilers, you should know this too. In the show, Ellie and Dina have sex after like a traumatic thing happens. I mean, they are in their safe house. So quote unquote safe, as safe as it can be in a zombie apocalypse. And people were like, why would you have sex in that moment? This is insane. And why I had a similar reaction. My reaction was more like, guys, hygiene. You just ran away from zombies. You didn't even wash your hands. You could have cordyceps fungus on your fingers, underneath your grimy ass fingernails. And you are having lesbian penetrative sex on the floor. That is my concern. Not the fact that, the things are overflowing. The hygiene of it all. I think a lot of that is actually not being. I just needed to get that out of my system. I was like,
yeah, no, for sure. That's also like, I mean, in fiction you have to let something slide, but I think in visual media it's worse when you're like, I can see your hand is dirty, man. I can see it.
Like, you just like had your hands on the face of a zombie, and you're telling me now you have those hands elsewhere? Ellie, stop. It's
like, you might as well be putting them in your own mouth right now. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, Ellie, you're immune, but your girl is not. Like, you gotta keep that away from the mucous membranes.
Incredible. Diversity win. Your lesbians are also having unsafe sex.
in more ways than once. Yeah. Well, at this point, Dina's already pregnant, so it doesn't matter anyways.
I mean, now it might be a fungus baby. Who knows? It could be anything.
As a little clicker. No.
Well, at least if it's not screaming, I mean, that's a win on the baby front, right? Like, I don't know. Can you tell I don't like children?
This is getting out of hand. We're still in a KBR episode. But yeah, that's my rewrite. I have to say I enjoyed Shadow and Bone. I love this series. It's not perfect. There's lots of things you could complain about.
Yeah.
But it has a very soft spot due to the universe in general. At least the state of the universe during the Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows series, because later on there's quite some changes in the way that Grisha work and the magic works. And while I'm not against it, I was like, okay, it's just a new development. I do like my specialized avatar benders and the different outfit. It's just kind of cute. So
the animation enjoyer inside you is like color-coded characters. Fuck yeah.
It's also this, like, it gives you this typical, like, YA, people are being sorted into categories thing. Like a Divergent or something.
There it's, like, legitimately useful because it's like, yeah, you take lessons together because you bitches do the same thing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So, like, I when I saw the list of books you gave me, I was very quickly like, I'm gonna rewrite Shadow and Bone because I have a bone to pick with Mel. And then the other two fell into place because I couldn't kick off Fox Court.
Fair enough. For me, it was also immediately clear. I was like, nah, this fucking stupid crime book has to go. This was the dumbest thriller I've ever experienced.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our little KBR. Long time no see. Had fun with this. Yeah, it's been a while. It's fun revisiting this format. It's always interesting to hear
our classic format.
To hear the rewrites. I think is like the most fun part.
Yeah.
If you have any beef with our it's not a rating, with our sorting of books into the KBR categories. If there's a rewrite for any of the books that is burning on your tongue or fingers that you want to type in the comments, feel free to do so. Always very interested in that. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We have talked a lot. As always.
Thank you so much for listening. And see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.